Do you think that anyone is actually going to win in Syria? I mean, it's been written a lot that no one can afford to lose, but no one has got the strength to win.
Well, this may go on for a long time,
Yeah.
and you may be right. Maybe that no one has the strength to win. But what has happened in the last few months is a change. Assad seemed to be losing. And the Russians and the Iranians and Hezbollah interfered on his behalf. And they've changed the battle, the run of battle. They are presently winning Aleppo. If they win Aleppo, which seems is what is going to happen, then Assad will have control of the four main cities of Syria: Aleppo, Homs, Hama, and Damascus. And Western Syria, the Alawite territory, the territory of his minority community. Assad will have control over the great majority of the people of Syria, and ISIS can have the desert. I mean, Deir ez-Zor and Raqqa, these two cities where ISIS is predominant, I don't think most people in the room had ever heard of Deir ez-Zor or Raqqa before this civil war. It's the periphery. So I don't think the old Syria is going to be reconstructed. I don't think anybody can put the scrambled eggs back together again. But Assad can secure Western Syria for himself with Iranian and Russian cooperation. An end result which could be problematic for us, as I say, if Iran and Hezbollah come out of it the way I mentioned. But there is one other factor to bear in mind here: Russia. What is Russia for us? Is Russia a problem or not? Russia for us is not the old Soviet Union. Not the old Soviet Union. It's not necessarily hostile. The old Soviet Union was very hostile. Russia is not. There is a very, I would say, mixed relationship between Israel and Russia over the last 20 years or so. It's not just the end of the Soviet Union. There are a million Russians in Israel. It's meaningful. There are a lot of people in Israel who have a sympathetic relationship with Russia, cultural, linguistic, even political to a certain degree. And I think there is also, as a result, an attitude towards Israel in Russia which is also a little bit more sympathetic than it used to be. We have common cause in the Eastern Mediterranean. We have just signed an agreement with Greece and Cyprus. Greece and Cyprus are allies of the Russians. If you want to talk about gas in the Eastern Mediterranean and any competition that has to do between Turkey and Israel, the Greeks and the Cypriots are on our side. And the Greeks and the Cypriots are on the Russian side. So there is a new kind of reality in which Russia doesn't necessarily mean hostility. The Russians are operating in Syria. We have some talk with them. Not to engage in activities in Syria that we would find difficult to swallow. Caution not to meet in the air. A Russian aircraft crossed into Israeli airspace a while ago. We didn't do what the Turks did. We didn't shoot it down. We just asked them kindly to leave, and they left. Because they don't want a scrap with us, nor do we want with them. If at the end of the day, the Russians say to Iran and to Hezbollah, we have common cause in Syria, but we do not want to be part and we don't want to see you be part of a hostile attitude towards Israel, and that the Russians have a restraining influence on Iran and Hezbollah, that would be very positive. I don't know that that is in the cards, but I wouldn't exclude that as a possibility. that we come to some kind of understanding with them over issues that have to do with the stability of the Eastern Mediterranean. We have common enemies. Islamic radicalism is not our cup of tea, not the Russian cup of tea either. And one of the reasons, I would say one of the major reasons why the Russians are in Syria in the first place, has to do with their hostility or fear of Islamic radicalism in Syria, pushing towards the Caucasus, the Chechens, and Russian domestic security issues. So it's something to watch as an instance of where there may be some silver lining and not necessarily all darkness in our relationship with Syria and Russia.